Assalam-o-Alaikum. Welcome back to our course Introduction to Language Studies. In today's video, we are going to discuss historical linguistics, the study how language changes over time. Languages are also alive, and like human beings, they also keep on changing with the passage of time. So we will see how sounds, words, grammar, and meaning evolved over time. So let's start. What is historical linguistics? It is a branch of linguistics that study historical changes over time. It discusses how language evolved or changed over time. Its focus is on sound change, word change, grammar, and meaning change. So it discusses how the sounds, word structure, meaning change over time. If we talk about the changes, type of changes that take place in languages, the first one is phonological change. Phonological means change in sound. With the passage of time, different sounds of different languages change. Similar is the case with English language. It also changes with the passage of time. For example, in Old English, hlaf has been changed as a loaf. The new word is loaf. Previously it was pronounced as loaf. The great vowel shift that took place from 14 years to 16 years, English changed its vowels. For example, the word time was initially pronounced as teem. Now it is time. Double E has been changed to I. The second change is morphological change. Morphological means structure of words, how the word change, how the word form of words change. Words ending and formally simplify. For example, in Old English, the word oxen, the plural of ox was oxen. Most of the words have been changed, and now we use S instead of en. However, there are some irregular form of verbs that use others, like syllabus, syllabi. But most of the words have S, that is a plural form of nouns. Another change is syntactical change. Change in structure of a sentence. This change in the sequence of the words. English, like Urdu, initially had a verb in the end, but with the shift of time, it has changed, and now the verb is used in the center. So the structure of S-O-V has been changed to S-P-O. Another change that took place is semantic change. Semantic means change in meanings. There are a lot of English words that have changed their meanings with the passage of time. For example, the word silly, S-I-L-L-Y, silly. Initially, it meant blessed or happiness. Now we call it foolish. The meaning has changed. If we talk about the construction of words or sounds, what are the methods? What is the mechanism that work behind this reconstruction? There are basically linguists compare related languages to reconstruct their language, their ancestor language. One method is comparative method. It looks at similarities between languages because different languages belong to same ancestors. For example, Urdu, Hindi, English, Germanic, they all belong to Indo-Aryan language. So there are similarities between different sounds as we had discussed in previous slides. So the word parent, pater in Latin, the word pitar in Sanskrit, and father, they all have similar roots and show some common origin. Another rule or another type of change is internal reconstruction. In the first one, languages are compared with other languages, ancestor languages or daughter languages. They are compared with other ancestor languages and the changes take place according to those languages. And other change is internal change. It means that the changes take place according to the rules and systems of the particular language. The user uses irregular forms within one language to guess other older patterns. So one pattern is used to guess or identify the previous pattern. So these are two major patterns that work in reconstruction of these sounds, word formation, syntactic structure, syntactic or semantic structure of words and sentences. If we talk about why it is important to study historical linguistics, or what do we learn or get when we study historical linguistics, it helps us to understand how English developed from old language to middle and then modern, the present language we're using. So what are the stages, how it evolved or developed with the passage of time? It shows connection between different languages, so ancestor languages or daughter languages. So how that interlinked or connected, or what are the similarities between these different languages, we can learn through historical linguistics. Another benefit of studying historical linguistics is that it explains why languages keep on changing every day and why these changes take place. If I could recall or recap what we have discussed in this lecture, number one, historical linguistics. What is historical linguistics? It is study of language change. Another thing we discussed, that change. What kind of changes take place? There are mostly four types of changes that take place. One is of sound, how the sound or vowel take place or shift with the passage of time. The structure of word formation, syntactical structure of sentences, or meanings. So these are four types of changes that take place. Another is reconstruction method, how the language reconstructs itself. One is comparative, according to the similarities of related languages. Another one is internal, according to the internal rule or structure of language itself. So if I could conclude that we have studied historical linguistics. Languages are systems, they are alive. They keep on growing or changing with the passage of time. Historical linguistics helps us to trace the changes or journey from past to present. In the next lecture, we will discuss differences between Old and New English, according to the grammar, inflection, and gender. So, if you are new on the channel, please subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon so that you may get new videos. If you learn something from this video or you like it, please share it with those who are learning language studies or introduction to language studies. Thank you. Take care.